At this point, it's by far the best box I've ever done. 9 pre-40s, 29 wheat pennies, and we're going to add 3 to that total. So the ones that we see here are a really nice condition 1945 and a 1956, but what I'm focused on is the reveal. Let's flip it over. Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and really excited because we're going to be hunting 5,000 more pennies, $50 face value for cool coins. We're filling out our folders, looking for wheat pennies, Indian Head cents, Civil War tokens, heirs, proofs, foreigns, you name it, we're looking for it. But one thing that I'm really excited about is that I actually just got this Canadian coins folder, and I filled it up with all of the Canadian coins from about, I want to say, the last, I'm just going to do some mental arithmetic, I think 11 boxes, because that's the last 5 new hunts. So there's a few spots filled out, not too many in the younger years, but more in the older years, but that'll just add some more fun to our hunt so that we can kind of keep track of the new metrics. So we're going to be trying to fill that folder out as well, in addition to the regular wheat penny ones. So let's go to the hunt. And in terms of enders, we have one right there, 1940 something, and then over here we actually got a reveal ender, so that's a little more promising. That one actually looks worn. I want to show the Canadian folder briefly. The only one from before 1960 is this 1945, and this Canadian penny folder is a little bit different, but I figured that this one would be good because it just has one folder, so it's less cumbersome, and it shows where the dates need to go over here. So I'm going to get started with the first batch and hope to get some of these. I'm trying to figure out, I think if I find a Canadian penny and I know it's a folder filler, I'll show that. And we got our first find, a 1944 face up, so nothing too crazy about it. Obviously, we'll check if it's, make sure it's not zinc or steel, but obviously nothing there, but that's 1 in 5, which is a pretty decent pace. That means like 10 coins a box. So if we could do that or better, I'd be really happy. And check it out. We got our first awesome find, a 1925, just 2 rolls later. So it didn't take a long time to follow up on that last find. Really happy about that. And hopefully that'll set the tone in terms of getting some earlier ones. But, to start, it's not every box that you get pre-1940. So that's a great signal. And the very next roll going to harbor another find for us, 1957D in decent shape. So the back, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell that there was the little bit of luster left over from the back. So happy that I found it on its face. But that's 3 and 8, so a much, much better pace. And, if this could keep on going, that would be a crazy box. And talk about a find and reveal that's going to be pretty fitting for this hunt now that we have the Canadian penny folder. We got an older one, so hoping it's not 1945, and it's not 1942. Awesome. So that will be one that we can add to our collection. Super pumped about that. And if we could get a few older ones, or maybe even the design before this, that would be pretty incredible. No way. So very, very next roll, we get a 1953D penny that also is in good shape. That's probably the best 1953D penny I've found in terms of the condition, but another one of these old ones. And just to put it in perspective, I think the last time 1945 we found in the last hunt, that was like the first in this hunt, and that was like 12 boxes. So I really picked the best box here to hunt. 1951, that's not a date that we have, so really excited. And I think that we certainly picked out the right box of the 40 that are sitting upstairs in my room to hunt today. Wow, just wow. So we got 1985, that's a folder filler for the Canadians, but if you take a look at these, that is 1, 2, 3 wheat pennies, and none of them look particularly old, but we'll go 1937, so that's already a folder filler as well, just like the last one, and a pre-1940. 1950S, we certainly have not found that in this cycle, and I'm going to check. I think we did find it before, but that's from the San Francisco Mint, and the S mint mark even looks a little funny. Maybe I'll have to check if it's not a double mint mark, but that's an incredible find. Another folder filler there. And then 1947, that's not crazy, but to get... Man, I'm super excited about this hunt. We've done 12 rolls, and we already found 7 wheat pennies and 2 older Canadians. That's probably the best pace I've ever been on. So let's get through the rest of this box. And at this point, I don't even know what to say. So we went 2 rolls without getting anything, and the next had 3 coins in it. So 1918 is the first one. I mean, like, what? We've already found that, not a folder filler, but still a super good coin to find. Then we had a 1944 in really good shape with a lot of original mint luster on it, plus a reveal that doesn't look half bad. 1954, that is a really cool find, and that's super tough to find. In the last segment that I did, the last 100,000, I only found one 1954, and that was like 80,000 pennies in. So to get one in good condition, that is a sweet, sweet find. And I'm just going to make sure that wasn't, so we got 1954, and I think a 54D, but only one 1954 in that. So another awesome roll, and we still have 35 to go in the first box, not even mentioning the second. Not going to spend much time on it, but very next roll, 1957, so we'll keep going. And just 2 rolls later, 1930, unbelievable. So I don't know, this is not what I expected to have happen when I sat down for this hunt, but this could be, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to keep tracking, and I'll compare it to some of our past boxes. And right there we have the 1940-something reveal. 1945, so nothing too wild there, but going to keep going through, not yet halfway through the box, and I'm just doing a quick count for us. We've got 13 finds, so hoping for more. Very next roll going to get us access to a reveal. This one looks pretty new. And it is 1955 is going to be the date. Always want to look for the double die. It's a really obvious one if you do have it, but that's not what we have here. More to come. And some absolute insanity, literally the next roll. So that's a major streak that we're on at this point, 1921. And of course, it's a folder filler, but it's also a legacy find. That means I've never, in my coin roll hunting days, ever found something with this date and mint mark. I've never found anything from 1921 period, but this is a huge addition to this folder, but the master folder as well when we put that together. So that's great, and we'll see what else we can do. Wow, not in consecutive rolls, but 1929, are you kidding me? So that's another pre-40 and another folder filler, We also have this one, 1956, most of these are in the 60s, so that's even good. Definitely have not found that date before either. So now we have 22 still in the first box. And we got some more big-time finds. Neither of these are ones that will be additions in the sense that they're totally new to the collection, but a 1930, and I'll have to get a count on the pre-1940, but I think it's the highest ever recorded in this box, and then also a 1944. And another good find, it was nice to get a reprieve, I guess, from having to film every roll. Went by maybe 4 rolls with no finds, but a 1944 there will get us back in the swing of things. And our next find right there is a 1955. So that's a great one. And that's, I can't remember now. I think it might be the next roll, actually. So maybe we can get another streak going. And that's our 3rd consecutive roll. This one's going to be a reveal as well. That's not luster. I think it's, well, actually, maybe there is a little bit. Can't quite tell. 1944 is the date, though. And something definitely went wrong. I guess it's not that attractive of a coin. But let's see if we can make it to 4. And we will. So here's our first one, Canadian 1980. That could be a folder filler. I don't have a list ready made like I do for these. I bet that this one's new. 1952D, I think that's what that's saying. And that would not be new. Let me make sure. I think that's 1952D, so nothing too crazy there. And it's kind of too funny, so we did not extend. We just got a Canadian on the last roll, but we made up for it with 2 in this one. 1955D, 1935. The 35 is going to be a folder filler. There's going to be a lot of editing those in. And actually, I didn't think of it, but that makes a record here. That is 8 pre-1940 in one box. That's by far the most we've ever had, because I remember once we had 7 in a hunt. So we still have 11 rolls to go, and I'll keep filming. And we might have a big reveal. What we do know is that we have a 1947 right here, then a 1981 that might be new on the Canadian side, but here is the coin to check out. Looks like some worn wheat ears. Oh, 1909. No way. I gotta check for the VDB now. That would be, and I don't think we have it here, but that would be found right, like, where I'm pointing with my finger. 1909, I've found one of these in the past, but certainly not in this series, the new. So this is a folder filler for sure. And that certainly caps off this box in quite a fashion. I think at this point I can say it, best box I've had ever. The only competing one is that time that I found the 1863 Civil War Civil War token. But I think it's more fun to just have so many pulls in one box. Let's do the last 10. And 2 rolls later, 1957D is going to be our first find and our best condition one of the hunt. I guess the box had forgotten to give us a really good condition coin, so it made sure it would. It's going to be a 1958D, so that's the last year that the wheat pennies were made, and that's certainly a good coin to add here. Something up with that 8. I'll have to take a look at that closer. Few rolls down the line, and we got a 1997 Canadian. Nothing crazy there, nor is this crazy 1940, but the finds just keep on coming in. 5 rolls left. And here we have it, the perfect wrap up to the first box. At this point, it's by far the best box I've ever done. 9 pre-40s, 29 wheat pennies, and we're going to add 3 to that total. So the ones that we see here are a really nice condition 1945 and a 1956, but what I'm focused on is the reveal. Let's flip it over. 1910. So that pretty much wraps things up here. That's 10 from before 1940, just in the first box, as well as an additional 22 cents, many of which are uncirculated, and 2 older Canadian ones. So we'll tackle, if you can believe it, we still have another 50 rolls to go through. Not going to stop the video short. Let's see what that last half brings us. And what do you know, the very first roll out of the next box has a wheat 1937 again, so another pre-1940. This has me pretty excited, but I'll take whatever I get in this box. And it took another 5 rolls before we would find something, and I knew we already had something with the reveal. This is the wheat penny that was our ender on the reverse side, but before we get to that, these 2 were in it as well. 1946D and 1956D, and I'm going to check. 1946D is going to be new for this 100,000 pennies, so that's awesome. That's 2 more finds, plus this could be older. And 1941 actually isn't an older find in my opinion, but that's still 3 pennies in 1 roll and 4 finds, 6 rolls into the box. This time it actually did take a long time to get anything, and we didn't have anything too spectacular. About 11 rolls to get to this point, and we got a 1945. So now there's 34 rolls total left in the hunt. And about 5 rolls later, we're going to get a 1956D. So that's just another find in this awesome hunt. Some more time in between finds, but we got a 1952 in this roll, and then we also have a 1975 Canadian. Next roll, also going to have a wheat penny, so we'll see what we find. 1942. I don't think we found any 42s in this hunt, so 15 rolls left. And while it doesn't feel anywhere close to the last box, we already have 8 wheat pennies, which would be a pretty good pace for a normal hunt. 2 more rolls going to lead us to our next pickup. Another wheat penny, doesn't look old, and it's not. 1945. And I have no idea what happened to the coin, but it definitely wasn't good. Something kind of chewed it up a little bit. And after the brief slowdown in the middle, we're really picking back up with the intensity. 1944 is going to get another find in the hunt. And that brings us either to, I'm just looking here, looks like now 10 in the hunt. So very happy about that. Next roll and another reveal, and I do like it better when I do get to see what the date and mint mark is on camera. 1944 is the date. So again, not crazy, but still a good find. And we got a 1953D right there and a reveal 1952. So more solid finds, and these are the last 2 penny rolls that we have for this hunt today. And let's do a wrap up here on what is definitely my best hunt I've ever had. So first we have 3 finds, 42, 51, 56 on the older Canadians. And then we had a variety here of, I believe, an additional 13 Canadian cents. This 1998 is the one that's going to be new for the collection. The others, I had already found those dates. We had a whopping total of 45 wheat pennies across these two boxes. Some of the highlights were the Esmint 1950, the 1954, and it's in good condition, so that's really incredible. And then over here we had a lot of good condition 1944s, as well as a 45, 7 total 1944s. And then the coolest part for me, at least, was finding 11 pre-1940s, including 10 in one box. 2 from 1930, 1 from 35, 2 from 37, 1 from 1921 on a date we'd never ever found before, and 1925, 1929, 1910, 1918, and the oldest wheat penny possible, the 1909. So, again, can't emphasize it enough. This was an incredible hunt, and I'm so happy to be able to have done it. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more content, and get in touch with me or contact on treasuretown.yt.com, my website, my Facebook, Treasuretown, my Twitter, at treasuretown_YT, or my Instagram, at treasuretown_YT. Looking forward to seeing you on some of my other videos.